Alright, so here is the mirrors worksheet that I provided for you, and I'm going to show you how to do it correctly. So again, we have our concave mirror here, we have our image here, and we're going to be using the same steps to draw the ray diagram. So the first incident ray that you want to draw is you start at the top of the object, and you're going to go parallel to P, and it's going to be a dotted line. So again, this is your first incident ray. It's going to be dotted, and you start at the top of the object anytime you start with your incident ray. So incident ray is parallel to P, and you stop when you get to the mirror. And then you're going to draw your reflected ray. So how is this going to reflect off of this mirror? And we know that it's going to reflect through F. So wherever you landed on the mirror, you're going to line it up so that line will go through F. Then you're going to do your second incident ray. So you're going to start at the top of the object again, and you're going to line it up so it goes through F. So our second incident ray, start at the top of the object, go through F, and stop once you hit that mirror. And then our second reflective ray will reflect parallel to P. So starting wherever you left off and hit the mirror, you're going to do a straight line parallel to P. And our line's connected, so we stop, and this is where the top of the arrow will be located in the mirror. So that's how it will be located. And my lines are not perfect, but it should have landed right under C. So when an object is located at C, it will also be located at C. This is always going to be true. So if we see an image here, it's always going to be located here. Now we can answer our questions. Is it real or virtual? Again, anything on this side of the mirror is considered real. Anything behind the mirror is virtual, so we consider that real. The arrow is pointed up in the original image, but now the arrow is pointed down. So it's going to appear upside down. So we call that inverted. And then looking at the size, this is the size we started with, and this is what the image would look like. And we would say that is the same size. So the object size did not change. Looking at our second question, we have our object here, again, and our mirror here. So we're going to draw our first incident ray. Again, starting at the top of the object, we're going to go parallel to P, which again, when I say P is this line here. So parallel to this line here. We hit the mirror, so we stop, and then we draw our first reflected ray, and that is going to be reflecting back through F. So incident ray reflecting back through F. Parallel to P through F. Then we go to our second incident ray. Starting at the top of the image, we're going to go through F, and again, dotted line for a incident ray. And we hit the mirror, so we stop, and it's going to reflect parallel to P. So our two lines have connected here, so that is where the top of the image will be located, and we connect it to P. So that is what the image in the concave mirror would look like. Again, we went parallel to P, and it reflected back through F, and then we went through F, and it reflected parallel to P. The two lines connected, and that is the top of the image. So that is what this image would look like in this concave mirror. So we can answer these questions. When an object is located between C and F, it is going to be located behind C, or you can say to the left of C. We can answer our questions again. It connected in front of the mirror, so on this side, so we consider that real. The arrow was pointed up, but now it's going to appear pointing upside down, so that is inverted, meaning it's going to look upside down. And now we need to look at the size. So this is our original arrow, and this is the image arrow. So that's what we're going to see in the mirror. And it's going to be an enlarged image. So enlarged would be what you would circle. And then finally we have our third one. The image is located at F, and we're going to follow our steps So the first incident ray starting at the top of the arrow is going to be parallel to P. When we get to the mirror, we stop and we are going to reflect through F. So parallel to P through F is our first incident and our first reflected ray. Then our second incident ray is start at the top of the object, and that's going to go through F. That incident ray is never going to hit the mirror, so we cannot draw our reflected ray, our second reflected ray, so we skip that step and go to the third step, which is starting at the top of the object, going to C and back to itself. So essentially just a straight line from the top of the arrow to C. And what you should notice if my lines were parallel or straight, these are going to be parallel lines. So they're parallel, and they will never converge, meaning these two lines will never hit each other. So that means that no image will form. And this is always going to be true when that image is located at F. So if we ever see an image, that arrow on F, you should automatically know that the lines will be parallel and they will never converge and no image will be seen. And that is it.